Are you hearing or deaf? That's the number one question that almost every live video, every post, people are asking. I see you speaking. Are you hearing? We're confused. And I was actually born hearing. When I was 14, I had a drop in hearing. My ears started bleeding. Saw it on a Q-tip. There was a lot of blood. Mom took me to the doctor, and I actually had a hearing loss. But I was still considered hearing. I was borderline hard of hearing. So the doctor predicted at that point that I would eventually become hard of hearing. Over the years, my hearing was pretty steady until I would say the past I think it was 3 years ago that I had a huge drop in hearing and I was in major denial. I would say, oh, they're not speaking clearly or something's wrong with the technology. As an interpreter, I would say, oh, something's wrong with the computer. Something's wrong with the headphones. I switched out my headphones multiple times thinking something was wrong with them. My iPhone, I thought something was wrong with the volume. Got a new phone, still couldn't hear well. It was really frustrating. I was like, I don't know, something's going on with the iPhone in particular. I was in total denial. I had not accepted my hearing loss until some of my coworkers started noticing there's like a cubicle, and so there's a wall between us, but they would say, oh my gosh, I can hear your entire conversation of your caller. And it's distracting because it is so loud and I'm trying to do my work, but it's bothering me because I'm hearing this full conversation on the other side of the wall. And so finally, somebody had asked if I was hard of hearing and suggested that I go to vocational rehab and get free hearing aids. And so I was like, okay, made an appointment, went for an evaluation, and sure enough, I had a big drop in hearing. It was a drastic loss. It really impacted me. I got hearing aids, and so went on from there. So are you going to become deaf one day? Well, when I lost my hearing, I was like, what am I going to do about my job? Because the doctor at that point predicted that I would someday become deaf. And of course, the doctors can't say 100% yes or no, I'll lose my hearing. That was just their prediction, or their suspicion. But I do have an illness called Stickler's syndrome. I've talked about it on occasion. It causes joint pain and various health issues. But it also does cause hearing loss. And I also have a deaf gene. So with those two things, I'll definitely have more hearing loss. So how do you feel? Well, at first I was panicked. It's like, what am I going to do for a job in the future? And my hearing has continued to decline. I was extremely upset at first, very upset. And I kept thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to continue to support my family? I worked extremely hard as a sign language interpreter for over 20 years. And so I started looking at other careers, and I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't finish school. I didn't graduate college. I dropped out. I should have continued and graduated, then it would have been no problem. Hearing loss hit, I could easily transition to another job. It's been extremely frustrating. It's not easy at all. When I go out to eat at restaurants and I'm trying to order, it's a little bit of a struggle, especially during COVID with people wearing masks and stuff. I didn't realize that I relied so much on reading lips until COVID hit. So anyway, at this point, I've already accepted it. I've just accepted it and moved on. So if you become deaf, what are you going to do about your job? Well, one thing I've been concerned about is my job and my future and how I'll continue to maintain our lifestyle and supporting our family. So luckily, we do have a few small businesses, so we have other ways that we earn money. And I can always get another job, but it's not going to pay the same as interpreting. And so as for now, I'm really thankful for the company that I work for. They've been extremely supportive. And just FYI, there are tons of hard of hearing interpreters out there. But I can also become a certified deaf interpreter if I do actually become deaf. So I'm just really thankful for that. So yeah, hope that answers all of your questions. I get the same questions over and over and over again. So I hope this helps, but I am a CODA, is born hearing.